last time. My name is Josh Pchajek, and for the last 2 years, I've been the one and only Spider-Man in Winnipeg, which is just north of North Dakota for all my American friends here. I've done parties again and again and again and again, easily over 150 of them. I got on the front page of a newspaper, which was pretty cool, especially because they didn't call me a menace. And I did this. Yeah, we don't really talk about that. Look, I've done tons of fairs and festivals, special events. I got to meet mascots, which was a lot of fun. And I even got to go on 2 different podcasts and get to talk about my job. But at the end of the day, this job's amazing. I get to be Spider-Man for birthday parties and Make-A-Wish kids. It is the most amazing job in the world. And so no matter how many times I get hit, which when you're at birthday parties with 5-year-olds, happens all the time, you always get back up again, because sometimes the one thing that this kid needs is to meet their hero, which is a pretty big responsibility, but that's what Spider-Man's all about, right? So I told my brother I was going to open up my presentation with a bit of a riff off of Into the Spider-Verse's intro there, and he's like, wow, you're a dork. Well, you know, I am going to a conference with a bunch of spider experts. He's like, never mind, you're good, have fun. But yeah, my actual job is to be Spider-Man for birthday parties and Make-A-Wish events. It is the coolest job in the world. And now don't get me wrong, I don't just do Spider-Man. You know, I play a bunch of heroes. I do Mario, Superman, Batman, Star-Lord, Darth Vader, Captain Hook, Captain America, Flash, and even Buddy the Elf during Christmas time. But my absolute favorite is, of course, Spider-Man. Fun fact, side note, I recently signed up for online dating. Use that as my Tinder profile. Wow, you get a lot of weird responses on there. One person told me they could make my spidey sense tingle. And someone else asked me if I had a functional web shooter. Yeah, I've recently stopped online dating because of that. But yeah, this is the most amazing job in the world. And my origin story for Spider-Man, my love for it is, I've always loved Spider-Man. It was just someone that I found was the most relatable superhero, by far, because like Peter Parker, he's awkward, he is a science nerd, he can't talk to girls, and when he does, things usually don't work out so well. He has a crappy boss, he's got money problems, and he's a social outcast. He doesn't really have a ton of friends. Me, on the other hand, I am very awkward. You would not believe how much I'm sweating right now doing this presentation. I am a massive science nerd. I also can't talk to girls that well. I have had many crappy bosses, and I'm a broke university student. These suits are not cheap. They're pretty expensive. And at times I've felt like a social outcast as well. But the best part about reading these comic books as Spider-Man was that Spider-Man had spider powers. Peter Parker had spider powers, and I can dance and act, I guess, a little bit. How could I use that? But this was someone that, despite this whole list of just things that just set him apart from everyone else, he doesn't feel like he fits in because of all these reasons, he still does the right thing. He's given these gifts, and although first starts selfishly, he realizes quite quickly he has this power that he can use, and he does it for good. He's the power to stop a train. He has the power to pull a boat together. He's got power to save people's lives and to help someone, and he uses it with great responsibility. As we all know, with great power, there must also come great responsibility. So I try to emulate that in my job as much as I can, and that's kind of where my origin story starts. I was already a fan of Spider-Man, but my full origin story starts with this kid here. This is Ethan. Ethan is a massive superhero fan, and Ethan, his dream was to go meet Spider-Man and the Avengers in Disneyland. So it just came out, he was so excited. Unfortunately, Ethan is fighting leukemia at this point, and he was not able to get to do that treatment. And so that was his dream, was to go meet Spider-Man, and he couldn't even leave Winnipeg, or back up in the made-up land of Canada. So the Dream Factory, where I partner with all the time, they wanted to bring Spider-Man and the Avengers to him. So they were going to bring it to him in Winnipeg. So Ethan and his family went to a hotel in Winnipeg, and here's what happened.
Hey, it's a Spider-Man. I'm handcuffed here in the hotel. I need your help.
So we gotta go help. Can you help find him?
So Ethan would then proceed to go out throughout the hotel, following clues here and there, trying to find Spider-Man. He would use his super strength, his super knowledge, his super speed, figuring out different puzzles and challenges. And I was very lucky enough to be in a freak accident asked to be Spider-Man for Ethan. And here's what happened next.
Oh, that's much better. Hey, man, you got my message? Yeah? Oh, thank you so much, man. It's so nice to finally meet you. Okay, the bad guy is still here.
That's right, I'm still here, and you ain't never gonna touch me, Ethan or Spidey! I'm gonna get away! I'm getting away!
Come on, let's go. Come on, buddy. Yeah, come on.
You won't ever touch me, Ethan!
Come here. Grab a hold of this. We're gonna pull it open on the count of 3, okay? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh no! Oh gosh!
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys. Oh, you did such a good job.
So Ethan was able to help Spider-Man break out of the unbreakable handcuffs from Party Stuff, and was able to take down generic Billy Bad Guy, and together they saved the day. And we had a big celebration in Ethan's honor. We got to have the entire SWAT team show up and take pictures with Ethan, and they gave him a certificate and a Medal of Honor thanking him for saving the Winnipeg Webhead. And we took pictures with him and his family, and then we had a bunch of other superheroes show up that evening. And we had a big dance party where we did superhero training and a ton of dances, and there was games and snacks. It was an absolute blast. And that's how I got into this. So at this party, I had one come up to me and said, "Hey, you were amazing." I said, "Oh, that's kind of the adjective I go by." And she said, "We would love to have you do this more often." And things kind of just took off from there quite quickly. I realize I'm saying this in a room full of spider nerds, but I know everything about Spider-Man. I take my job very seriously, as I'm sure all of you take your studies as Spider-Man as well. And I try to commit all of my knowledge to Spider-Man, and my job just exploded. We started doing one of these things every month-ish, maybe 2 months, and I do about 4 a week now. Sometimes more during the summer, especially when a new movie comes out and everyone wants Spider-Man to come show up. So I've been doing all that stuff there, and because it expanded, I got to expand more than just red Nike runners and a Party Stuff costume suit. So I now have 30 Spider-Man suits, 5 different web shooter sets. Yes, you did hear that right. This is my closet. I legitimately do own 30 Spider-Man suits, 34 if you count the ones that are still coming in the mail. I also play other superheroes, but Spider-Man is the main one there. I like to try to make sure to be the Spider-Man that the kid knows best. So if they know the What If episode Spider-Man, I have that suit. If for some reason, for an engagement party, they want Spider-Man to show up and they grew up on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I'm your guy. I show up in my Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit, which I have 3 different versions of. If they want a specific one from the video game, I have at least 10 of those ones. And I like to throw in extra stuff like a web backpack. My actual backpack is the one Peter Parker has in the movie, because I'm a dork. And also can't forget about the Lysol wipes, because wow, do you ever sweat inside those things. Oh my word. I also just like to have fun with it. I just recently did a baseball photo shoot. Got to go to a stadium, and Spidey's a Mets fan, this was bound to happen, and pretty much just walked up and said, hey, can I do some photos here for my job? And they said, okay, sure. Sometimes we do some special holiday events. So we get the St. Patrick's Day and Christmas Spidey outfits out. So I'll throw on a scarf and a Santa hat and a Christmas sweater, because back home in Winnipeg, we get colder than Mars sometimes, like minus 40, which I guess is Celsius, which is the same for Fahrenheit for you guys, even colder than that. Yeah, it's really cold in spandex. It doesn't keep you warm in the winter and keeps you too warm in the summer. This suit here, you might recognize as Far From Home. I recently went on a trip to South Africa for school for a biology course. And of course, this was the most important thing to pack. I made sure that this went in my carry-on, not my luggage, to make sure that one didn't get lost. And got to do a photo shoot very far from home. Because everyone loves Spider-Man, young and old. We all get to enjoy Spider-Man. All of us see a different aspect and relate to that. But the main part of my job is interacting with these kids. And so most of my job includes swinging in and landing, saying, hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Spider-Man. And the kids, jaw hits the floor. And I then proceed to lead them through superhero training. So we'll do super strength, where we do bicep curls and push-ups, and we'd work on super speeds. We'd run back and forth. We teach them how to Spider-Man jump. So I say, like, hey guys, show me how high you can jump. And they're like, ah. Like, that's awesome. All right, now I'm gonna teach you how to do a Spider-Man jump. So everyone jumps out like this. You're gonna bend down nice and low. And you jump up, clap your feet together in the air. Oh boy, like this, right? And all the kids go, whoa! So we all do the jump together, and we know we should learn how to properly shoot a web, make sure everyone's fingers are in the right placement and stuff like that. And it's awesome. They get to arm wrestle Spider-Man. I let some of the kids win. Usually the birthday kid will let win. It's the best job in the world. It's very clear that these kids get to just enjoy being surrounded by someone that they've grown up on, either on TV shows, cartoons, movies, comics, video games. And so I've tried to expand my spider knowledge. I know a decent amount, but I've now joined 2 Spider-Man podcasts where I get to talk about Spider-Man, which kind of similar to this, but basically just get to talk about the comics or news. And this is where I get a lot of my info for some of the older comics that, I mean, I was born in 2002, so there's a lot that I wasn't around for. I need to catch up. And one of the best examples is, as previous presenters talked about, the Spidey stories. Didn't know that was a thing. The Electric Company, only heard about that this year. But I went to a car show walkabout. And so I'm walking around, and there's all these nice cars with old guys and their grandkids there, and I'm there for the kids, right? So I'm walking around, and this one guy goes, hey, Spider-Man, Mr. Electric Company. I went, oh, you must have seen my fight with the wall. That is Spider-Man. Oh, my word. Oh, it does come in handy. Yes, 50-year-old obscure knowledge fact. Finally came in handy. Awesome. I get to be a part of some things like this. I nearly died. Like, that mask, not kind of hard to breathe in the first place. Yeah, I almost waterboarded myself doing that one, but it was a ton of fun. But the main part that I love the most about this job is doing these Make-A-Wish events. I get to have fun at the birthday parties, but I get to meet kids here like James. James, this photo was taken just a couple weeks before his last chemotherapy appointment. And he was going through his last session, he was kind of nervous, we were throwing this big party in celebration of that he was almost through it. And I try to match, like I said, what the kid knows and kind of how old the kid is. So he was 5, I'm like, I'm gonna go with the right color suit. He's probably seen the No Way Home merchandise at this point. Let's go with that one. And I'm talking to him, and he said, so, how are your friends back in New York? I was like, oh, they're good. Captain America's, he's doing good, and Miles is, he's awesome. He's protecting the city while, Ghost Spider and I came here. He's like, that's great. How about Iceman and Firestar? Wow, you're 5. How do you know about this? But now, there's Disney Plus where he can watch all the 80s cartoons, and here's a 5-year-old kid that is competing with my own Spider knowledge. But it's those moments that you realize that these heroes, that this hero, Spider-Man, means the world to a 5-year-old kid going through something no kid should have to go through. And my last slide here is the kind of conclusion of my story with Ethan. Ethan has sadly passed away since, and I had reached out to his parents asking permission to talk about him here, and they gave me this artist photo of Ethan and Spider-Man. And this to anyone is just a kid with Spider-Man, but to me and to Ethan's family, this is Ethan and me as Spider-Man. I am Ethan's Spider-Man. I got to be Spider-Man for this bravest kid I know that could fight any battle against any supervillain and still nothing compared to what he was going through. And I owe my life to this kid. He has quite literally changed my life forever. I would not be doing this, would not own 30 Spider-Man suits, wouldn't be on podcasts, coming here, talking with a bunch of fellow Spider nerds if it wasn't for Ethan, and just how big of an impact Spider-Man had on him. This whole conference is about the impact Spider-Man has had on pop culture and about our entire society at large. It's very clear that the one wish he wanted in the whole world was to meet his hero, Spider-Man. That's some power to have. I have the power to flip around in tights, but it's my responsibility to do that, to be the hero that this kid needs. Thanks.